Hello there. So today, I don't actually have any sort of point that I wanted to talk about. I have a bunch of little like ideas and shit, but no big point. My head actually hurts a lot for whatever reason. For this entire day, it's been like I won't put it as tormenting me, but it's definitely been very noticeable annoyance. You know, it's been very hard to focus on anything, and that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about. I think I already brought it up a couple of times here on this show, but it's very hard to focus. It's very hard to concentrate for me. When I open my Google Docs and I sit down to write everything, to write my scripts, to do whatever, do my art, it wouldn't be even a couple of minutes, and I already almost doing anything else but what I initially sat down to do. Opening a window, closing a window, I don't know, setting a teapot to get some tea, and starting from that, you know, while the teapot is cooking, I might as well open something on YouTube, some video, and listen to that. And now that the teapot is cooked and my tea is ready, I might as well finish the video on YouTube. And by the time the video is finished, my tea is not finished yet, so I'll open some other video. I'll do some reading on random topics that I just found interesting in. And one leads to another. The next thing I know is that the train is off the tracks. Let's put it that way. And the thing is, I can work on it, and I can force myself to not do any of those things, but that only makes my time unproductive. Like, why I allow all of that? Because regardless of that, even if I do force myself to not do any of that, I'll only like write 1 or 2 words in the time, not literally 1 or 2 words, but like very little. My mind would be going off, spiraling in all sorts of different directions all by itself, even though I'm trying to focus on this one topic. You probably noticed it in the format of the show, how I go about thinking. That's kind of like how my mind works. I start with one thing, and then the next thing you know, I'm talking about something like a random flower. Oh, flowers! I see flowers all over me. Oh, look at that! Pink and yellow and all sorts of flowers. And you know, pink is an awesome color. When I was a little boy, I used to get on other boys' nerves, because whenever we had our art class, I would use pink oftentimes, and other boys would be like, "Why are you using pink? It's a girlish color. It's for girls." And I'm like, "I like pink." And I'm like, "What kind of boy are you?" And I'm like, "I'm a boy, all right." I like pink. Pink is awesome. And I enjoyed tormenting them like that. They just couldn't get me. There was this one guy who used to be a bully in their like primary school, and then became just a hooligan in the middle school, and then closer to high school he just became this like a leader, more negative than positive. But again, then he changed his life for the better. Now he is a teacher of English, and he's a pretty, I guess, okay guy. I don't know. I've never quite interacted with him that much. I know that now he's a teacher of English, and he actually went and got himself a proper education, and he went to lead an intellectual life. He didn't become a gang member of some random gang, you know. despite the very easy availability of that kind of path for that kind of person. So good for him. Now, I see right now. See what I did here? That's kind of what happens to me. So it's hard. I don't know. If I try to force myself to think in a linear way, to not get distracted by all of these things, by all of my random ideas, my productivity just sucks. It's terrible. It's disgusting. I remember writing the actual paperwork. As a programmer, your graduation work, the thing that gets you graduated actually as a bachelor, your project, graduation project, I guess you can call it, is a program of any sort of kind, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's your pick. Not necessarily a program, but more often than not. So I did my program and it was amazing. I really enjoyed doing it. But then when I had to actually sit down and write all the paperwork for it, the descriptors and all the boring stuff, and I'm like, oh God, oh no, when will it end? Other kids, I guess we were not kids, we were adults, yeah, you know, bachelor's degree, we are adults, we're not kids, we're definitely not children. Other children and kids, those losers, they seem to have a completely different approach. I mean, I don't know how boys approach that. What I do know is how girls approach that, because I only spend my time with girls. I don't know, for whatever reason. We just have more things in common. So when I talked with a bunch of girls, they'll be like, "Oh, I'm writing a page a day." Like, you what? A page a day? That doesn't seem like something. Like, that doesn't seem like an approach that is even remotely legitimate. You know, it's like, oh, you know, I'm making a painting. Okay, I'm painting a 10 by 10 square a day. That just doesn't make any sense. You don't do art like that. You don't do creative work like that. Let's put it that way. Not necessarily art. So I just don't know. How do I do that? And not only that, even if I make myself sit down and work on something, it's very hard to actually work on it, because I go and spiral into something uncontrollable. Doesn't matter. There's a doggo somewhere. Come on, doggo, where are you at? Or I just sit there and I'm like, you know, mashing my head on the keyboard, hoping that some random words will just appear on the screen and be an answer to all my problems. Not only that is the case when I do sit down. Oh, I see the doggo now. There's a car coming from behind, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, I'll hear it better when it comes close. But oftentimes it's hard to make myself sit down to do that work in the first place. Like, today was a very unproductive day in that sense, because I just kept being distracted by all those little things. I called my family, I called my grandma, you know. I did some reading, but I just did whatever. I had to clean a little bit, you know. You gotta clean up sometimes, and now it's what time is it? It's almost 9 o'clock in the evening here, and I've done really kind of not really anything. I guess I did do some research. I did improve myself, more or less, but no visible results, you know. So yeah, that kind of sucks. And it's not that I don't want to be like I am. It's that I already talked about it. I want to have different kind of result. I want to stay the person that I am already, but I want a different result. And now I'm willing to change to achieve that result. My only question is, well, how? How do I go about it? And I just don't know. I don't know. Oh, there's a guy on a horse on the mountain. That's epic. So, what do I do? I mean, it basically what I'm talking about. It's been 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Half of the first summer month is over. Only 5 of those are left, and in that half, I already talked about it yesterday, I did change myself a lot, but at the same time, I changed myself, but I didn't make anything, you know. Now, it wouldn't be a real problem for me. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. But I need food. I need money. I have to do something. I have to make something so that other people will consume it and say, "Hey, thank you. Thank you very much, senor." I mean, I would be totally fine if I had land and I would have to work on it. I think that'll be totally fine. I wouldn't mind that, because when you work on the land, you can still imagine. Just imagine this crazy scenario. You're working on your land, whatever, plowing field or whatever you gotta do. You gotta do. Potato, just picking up all the bugs from the potato leaves, like the good old days. It's a little bit of a fantasy, but doesn't matter. People would come in here and say, "Yeah, you're an idiot. That doesn't work like that." Okay, I agree. I don't know, but my idea would be like, oh yeah, do all this physical work and listen to some audiobooks while you're at it. That'll be totally fine with me. But no. I mean, I can totally go and do some physical work in just random, I don't know, like service work or just any sort of where they need a man to pick random shit up and put it in there or put it in here. So I definitely can do that kind of work, and perhaps I will. We'll see. I still have some money left, as I already said, until the end of summer at least. So autumn, winter, perhaps that's the kind of future that's waiting for me, and I'm kind of totally okay with it. My only not okay about it is that it's not as cool. Oh my lord. Can you? Yeah, there you go. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is a crane bird. Or crane, I don't know. Kanfuk Banda, the guy, the bird in the hat. That kind of bird. And it's huge. It was huge. It flew away. I am productive, but in a very weird sense. So yeah, that was bothering me a little bit. that I don't really care. I mean, my dream thing to do would be to have a masterpiece and just work on it whenever I feel like working on it, because forcing myself to work on it, it won't be a masterpiece. But I kind of have to, you know. Gotta get cash, gotta get paid, gotta get money, gotta get laid. No, the last part, forget about it. I never said it. I said it just for the rhyme, okay? I don't concern myself with such earthly things. That's actually another thing that was in my mind for a long time. Ever since I figured out the difference between gender and sexuality, I've been thinking about, am I asexual? Like, is this a thing that I am? But it is kind of weird, in a sense that I don't really experience sexual attraction. Like, I've talked to other people, and the way they talk about that, it's just like, no, I don't see people in that way. No. It's for me, it's more like, yeah, no, why? What I am attracted to the opposite gender. So yeah, I do like girls, but it's not really sexual. I mean, I don't. That's why I say it's weird. Like, I don't know. I don't experience that kind of attraction that other people that I talk to have. I just don't view people in that way. What I'm attracted to is more of like character, personality, you know. But it is girls, but it is their characters and their personality. So it's weird like that. So I cannot really say that I'm asexual. Maybe I can say that, but it'll be weird. It'll be definitely not just bluntly, oh, no, I don't care, I'm nothing. I'm just a solo random person all by myself. No, I do get attracted by the people, but like, appearance doesn't really matter, like, at all. I don't get, I'll put it this way, I don't get turned on by anybody. That's not my thing. I don't look at somebody and say, oh damn, that's hot. No. I mean, I can say, oh, that looks hot, but it'll be like, that is what society treats as hot. That's not something that, you know, I would say hot. Like, for me, that is a non-concept. I view people, I only like start becoming interested in other people when I talk to them, when I have some interactions with them, when I am able to see who they are in their head. That's kind of how it works for me. Before that, like, well, I don't know you. GTFO. So yeah, that is another thing. It's been weighing on my mind, and I actually thinking of making a video that would kind of incorporate this entire ordeal. When a video that I would, where I would talk about these concepts of gender and sexuality. And I do want to do some actual additional research and try to figure out this, how I am, like, is there something in between these two? Like, so sexuality is who you are attracted to, but what is this? What is the nature of this attraction? Like, does it have to be actual, like what is known as lust or physical attraction? Like, is that what is implied here? Or is sexuality more of a general thing? It's like overall attraction. Like, for me, I don't really have lust. I just don't have it. Like, fuck me. No pun intended. But it's just, I don't know. It's weird. It's definitely weird. Queer. That's why we call us queers. You know. When you look at other people and like, well, all of you are definitely weird. And it's actually you who are the weird one. I'm like, oh wow. Who could have thought? You know. It was always funny to me to read all these like religious texts, how they say about, oh, you know, impure thoughts, and like, well, sure, nobody has it except for like some random sexual maniacs or whatever. Actually, no, people do have it on that. I was like super surprised to find out. I'm like, wow, really? That's something that you do feel, do something you do experience, and other people are like, yeah, you know, legit. I'm like, wow. Who could have thought, you know, such a reality exists? So yeah, that's another thing that I wanted to talk about. I guess I'm not done with it. That's why I'm not really sure. I just had nothing to say, so I brought it up. There was something else on my chest that I wanted to mention, and that I remember that I forgot to mention it. It's in some of these videos, in one of these videos. Oh, I guess I should again bring up the Russian/English YouTube. Like, I'm still I'm still fucked. It's weird. I'll put it this way. Like, why do I even want to do all that in the first place? Well, because of capitalism. Because I need cash money. That's why I'm doing all of that in the first place. Otherwise, I wouldn't care. I would just continue my self-education, you know, and try and understand the world. Maybe write some random shit on the side, like I always did. Why do I even do this? To get money, get paid, get cash, and get laid, you know. It's still a good joke. So shut the fuck up. So that's why I do this. But then I have two conflicting ideas. It would be easier for me to build I wouldn't call it a following. No, I guess you could say it a following. To build a subscriber base, just more. What do you call it? Your auditorium, your peeps, your fans. I guess it would be fan base. Okay, there we go. It would be easier for me to build a fan base in Russia, because I already know a bunch of people who might be interested in the topics that I would want to talk about, and I do know that we severely like that kind of that kind of content. So they would probably sub, and they would probably share it with their friends and shit like that. And that's kind of the type of thing you always want to happen. But then again, like, that's one thing. I do understand that building a fan base, something is about my pronunciation recently, building a fan base in Russia, it would be probably easier. But then I'm slapped back with understanding that monetizing Russian content, now that's a big problem. That's a big thing, big sad thing. Not as easy First of all, Russians are fucking poor as dirt. I guess my generation is a little bit richer, but still, like, fuck. And the second thing is, we don't really have any sort of established, commonly known and everywhere used way of monetizing content. Like Russian YouTubers, they do random shit, you know. They just post their credit card data, like, come on, send me money, here's my credit card. They post their profile in a social network called VK, and they say, hey, here's my VK, you can send money in VK as well. They post like random, like, Twitch streamers, whoever have a Twitch account, they just post I saw it a bunch of times, the Twitch stream donation link in their comments, and like, go donate there. And it's like, surely that's a very weird monetization policy when you don't have this commonly known way of how to monetize your content. Like, if you're talking of English channels, we have Patreon. That's like, that's the monopoly of donations. We talk about Russian channels, the closest thing they got to universally accepted is merch. But then again, they sell it in all sorts of different ways, but I guess that's kind of okay with merch. So just buying the merch, you know, gotta get that merch. So yeah, that's another thing. And as I said, Russians are not only the fucking poor, they're not used to pay for shit, because we live in this kind of more or less socialist country, so we don't have to pay for school, we don't have to pay for medicine, for university. Like, education is pretty much free completely. So when you go ahead and beg for donations, I mean, I don't know, most YouTubers who I've seen who do Russian content, they do it like as their side gig. Well, I don't want to do it as my side gig unless they do like hardcore, everyday, fucking like hard work, that kind of shit. I've seen a bunch of people like that. But you have to be fucking and that's another thing. Man, my nose is running like a madman. Beg your pardon for all that nose action that I'm performing right here, you know. Nose is sexual. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, my nose. That's a very funny thing. So yeah, I want to do Russian content. It will be easier to build a fan base, but then again, I also want to be international and monetization. Like, why I'm doing this, to get money, get paid, get cash, and get laid. Monetization in Russia is just disgusting. It's non-existent. So 1, 2. Being high function. I saw this idea a couple of times. A lot of people who I know talked about it. They'll be like, yeah, you know, I have all these like social problems and shit, and anxiety and whatnot, but I'm high functioning. Well, I guess that makes me low function. I don't have any of these like disorders and shit. I'm just a normal guy. But my thing is I'm low functioning, I guess. Because I just I start doing one thing, and the next thing I'm doing another thing. By the end of the day, I have 20 half-finished things. And over the course of a couple of months, I may finish all these 20, but it just takes long, and it's weird experience. So I don't know. I'm trying to do both. I'm trying to both stick to my guns, to what I do and how I do it. But then again, I'm also trying to be like, oh, damn it. You know, I gotta get productive, gotta get this work done, because, you know, ain't nobody gonna pay me to do all this 20 things in 2 months. You know, you gotta more or less do them kind of now, you know. Hey, Marty, we got Marty, we gotta do this like now. My voice impression was terrible. Oh, that's a huge bird, but you won't be able to see it, sadly enough, because it's pretty far away in the distance and the camera is pretty sucky. Because again, as always, filming it on my phone. So today it was an assortment of random topics. You know, it's like those M&Ms. You know, like those Skittles. You know, you can never know what you get. Except with M&Ms, they're all the same taste. And those Skittles, you know, got a different taste. But both M&Ms and Skittles, you know what? They cost money. You know that's their thing. Cost and money. And you know me, you know me. I am the guy who's infamous for not really having money. I have enough money, but I don't spend it because I'll need it later. I cannot get no Skittles. I mean, I probably can, but probably shouldn't. And I probably shouldn't, because who knows if this entire thing is gonna even work, you know, with this YouTube thing, you know. Where did I pick up this speech style? I did pick it up somewhere. Who uses it? Damn it, I can't remember. I know somebody definitely uses that. Probably, you know, probably. Well, I know Rick and Morty do use the show does. Rick and Morty does use that, I guess. This kind of, you know. Iteration. I actually rewatched recently the earlier episodes of Rick and Morty, and there was a lot less science and a lot more just goofing around, you know. Doesn't matter, makes no word sense, doesn't word, no speech, much terrible. Like the way Rick speaks changed in the early episodes, and then these later ones that just season 4 got finished. It's weird. He speaks differently. Like in the early episodes, his speech is pretty simple. Like he just like, oh, you know, I'm Rick, you know, Marty, come on, Marty, come on, kind of like that. He just mumbles random nonsense. He just, you know, yeah. That's kind of how, you know, yeah. That's like Rick. Whereas in these later episodes, he's more like Ben Shapiro, spitting out random sciencey words very fast, and he's like just rambling all on and on about it. I guess in the earlier episodes of Rick and Morty, Rick does feel more like a drunk person, whereas in the later episodes, he's more like, I don't know, not necessarily sober, but definitely more inside his head. Not just like, woo, I'm a scientist, woohoo, but more of like, oh, you know, I actually know stuff. And I do want to watch the seasons. Like, I would want to watch it more and see if this hypothesis of mine holds on any water. Like, does it have anything in it, or is it just, oh, there's a lot of dogs in there, or is it just me, me misinterpreting things? I'll look into it, as I would look into all the other things that I want to look into. And at the end of the day, I'll be like, okay, I looked into 40 different things today. I learned a lot. Fuck me, did I do anything? Fucking no. But yeah, now I know 40 more things that are actually like kind of useful, because I can use them in all these contexts and all these understanding of things, and babdo, wabba boo. So I guess, yeah, that's it for today. just a little old rant, just a little, ramble, just a little talk, like a little speak, a little mouth shaking around inside my little mouth shaking around inside my tongue. No, tongue. Yeah, a little, a big thick tongue shaking around a little bit. Yeah. That's it today. Thank you all for watching, or not watching if you didn't watch. So if you didn't watch, fuck you. But if you watching this, then you did watch. So no, not fuck you, but I don't know. Again, thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye. Marty, listen, Marty, listen, Marty.